Another day, another Donovan Mitchell trade rumor to the New York Knicks, and I'm here to break it all down. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. So what's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel from Knicks Digest, and let's hop right into today's video. Earlier today, Stephen Bondy from New York Post posted an article, Donovan Mitchell playing for Knicks wouldn't surprise ex-teammate. The ex-teammate that Stephen Bondy is talking about is Joe Ingles. So yesterday, the Orlando Magic came into Gotham City and they lost to the New York Knicks. But before the game, Stephen Bondy was able to get a quote from Joe Ingles, which goes on to say, "For me, it would be cool. Anybody who gets to play at home, it would be a pretty special thing for him. If he does, great. If he doesn't, it's not going to change my life one bit." Now, that was a small quote from the article, but if we go deeper into the article, he does have another quote that's a little bit lengthier. I think when there was talk about him coming to New York, the team wasn't doing that great. I think the way the team is now, I think he's pretty happy with the way that things are going in Cleveland. But it still wouldn't surprise me. He's a New York kid. If I could play in Melbourne and make the same amount of money, like, why wouldn't you think about it? Listen, man. God. Chris and I, we put out a lot of videos regarding Donovan Mitchell, the trade rumors coming to the New York Knicks. So you guys know my stance about Donovan Mitchell coming to the Knicks. At this point, the trade deadline is way behind us. We have the team that we have right now. We made the trade with Quickly and Barrett going to Toronto, and we got Precious, we got OG, we got Malachi Flynn, who we ended up shipping off to Detroit alongside Quentin Grimes. So the team that we have right now is the team that we're going to have for the rest of the season going into the playoffs. Me, prior to the trade deadline, I was somebody who wasn't really with the Donovan Mitchell trade. Of course, that was when we still had RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly. But then the more and more Chris and I got to talking about it, Chris actually did change my mind. And I ended up at a point where if they ended up making the Donovan Mitchell trade, I would be open to it. I would be open to see how it would be with a tandem of Brunson, Mitchell, Randall, Mitchell Robinson, Dante DiVincenzo. But it didn't end up happening. So I don't know what to say anymore. Donovan Mitchell is not on the Knicks. He's gonna finish the season with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have been playing better. We actually might see them in the playoffs for a second time, but we still gotta wait. And of course, speaking of Donovan Mitchell, who is a perennial all-star for the season, he is averaging 28 points, 5.5 rebounds, 6.2 assists, converting 47.2 from the field, and converting 37% of his three-pointers and 86% of his free throws. We all know who Donovan Mitchell is. Donovan Mitchell is a perennial all-star who, with the Utah Jazz in his rookie season, was able to lead them to the second round of the playoffs, where they lost to the Houston Rockets, I believe. So Donovan Mitchell, as far as being your leader on the team, leading you to the offseason, it's a possibility. But how deep in the offseason is he going to be able to lead you? That's a question that we still have to see. He was only able to lead the Utah Jazz once past the first round, and every round after that, it was first round exit, first round exit, first round exit, which is part of the problem that I have with Donovan Mitchell. I'm not sure if he could be the best player on the team of a championship team. I think Donovan Mitchell might have to be the second or even third best player. And Cleveland, that's the problem that they're dealing with. I mean, they're a little bit on a roll right now. Garland, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, Donovan Mitchell. That's the core four. Since Garland and Evan Mobley went out with that injury, Donovan Mitchell and Jarrett Allen put the Cleveland Cavaliers on their back, which they were able to win 18 games out of the 20 games. But when I took a deeper dive into the schedule, they faced a lot of Washington Wizards, San Antonio Spurs, Charlotte Hornets, just a lot of teams that were just bottom of the barrel of the NBA. But focusing more on the Donovan Mitchell and the New York Knicks, if he came to the Knicks, Brunson and Donovan Mitchell, just a tandem of those two, and if you add Julius Randle to it, what's the ceiling of that? Is that an Eastern Conference Finals team? I'm not even sure, and I'm glad I don't have to see it. I want you guys to leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of a Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson tandem. But before I wrap up the video, I do also want to point this out. So, me personally, I'm not a huge Donovan Mitchell fan, but now I have a little bit more gas to add to the fuel. So, Donovan Mitchell, has been reported that the Cavaliers star out for the next 3 games after receiving PRP injection in knee. So, for those of you that are not sure what the PRP injection is, I had to go through it back in my playing days, way back in the day. But what they do is they take some blood out of whatever injured part of the body you have, and they re-inject it into your body to help with the acceleration of the healing process. Now, it's not gruesome, it's not anything, but if Donovan Mitchell is going to these lengths for knee soreness or any type of injury that he might has, what does that say about Donovan Mitchell? He is getting up there in age. He is about 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", so he is not a huge body. And the older you are in age, the more of your athleticism just keeps leaving your body. So at this point of Donovan Mitchell's career, do we actually want Donovan Mitchell on our team? Is he somebody that's going to be able to play like he's been playing for his whole career? That's not something I'm sure I can say. So now moving forward, after the big win last night against the Orlando Magic, which it was really a big win because the Orlando Magic got the first 3 games of the season. And I believe after the win last night, we moved back up to the 4th spot and Orlando is moving down to the 5th spot. So of course, if the playoffs started today, we could be seeing the Orlando Magic in the first round. So it was a nice little message that we sent to them. But moving forward with the rest of the season, for the next 10 games, what does the schedule look like? First of all, we got a back-to-back with Philadelphia 76ers. That's going to be, I'm recording this on a Saturday, so the first game is tomorrow on a Sunday, and then the following game is on Tuesday. After those first 2 games, then we go to Portland, then we go to Sacramento, we go to Golden State, and we go to Denver. So Sacramento they're right now, they're a play-in team, I believe, or they might be in the 6th spot, the last spot for a playoff position. Golden State, Steph Curry just went out with an injury. He's going to be up for some time, but still, they got Draymond, Clay, they got Jonathan Kuminga. They have a lot of talent on that team, and before the Stephen Curry injury, it seemed like they were kind of getting on the roll. Denver Nuggets is the world champions. We know what's up with that. I don't even have to talk about them. And the first team that we play against on the West Coast trip is the Portland Trailblazers. Again, Portland is a team, they're super young, they don't really have any direction, they're just playing to end of the season. Chauncey Billups is just trying to see what he has on the roster, so that should be a win. After the Denver Nuggets, then we're going to be coming back home to play the Brooklyn Nets. That's the 7th game. The 8th game is we're going to be home against the Detroit Pistons. The 9th game, we're going to be going to Toronto, and then the 10th game, we're going to be going to San Antonio Spurs. So if we go to the start of the schedule, the first 2 games, we're going to be playing against the Philadelphia 76ers, who will still be out with Joel Embiid. But I keep saying that the 76ers, they do have a nice pool of talent. You got Tobias Harris, you got Paul Reed, you got obviously the All-Star Tyrese Maxey, you got Nicholas Batum, you got Robert Covington, you got Kenyon Martin Jr. You do have pieces that we still have to respect them. But for those 2 games, with all of our players still out, Randall, Anunoby, even though Anunoby, it looks like he's ramping up and he could be back soon. Mitchell Robinson, obviously, out with the ankle injury. I think we're going to split that. So I think we're going to go 1-1 with those games. The following game at Portland, again, we don't have our bodies, so I could see us losing that game. But since I'm a Knicks fan and Jalen Brunson is my MVP, I'm going to go with a W there. So right now, we're 2-1. The following game at Sacramento. Sacramento, from what I've seen, they're still super athletic. Malik Monk coming off the bench should be the 6th man of the year. Keegan Murray, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis. That team is legit. I'm not necessarily sure why they haven't been able to get their stuff together this season, but I think we're going to lose that game. So we're going to go 2-2 there. Then at Golden State Warriors, which I think could be a win. I don't know if Stephen Curry will be back for that game, but with the experience and the leadership of Draymond, Clay, Chris Paul's back from that hand injury, I think we might cash an L there. So we're going to be 2-3. Then we're going to be going at Denver against the world champions. And of course, after the All-Star break, this is where the NBA teams start to ramp up the intensity. And for the last few games, I've been watching the Denver Nuggets with the highlights, and it looks like they're ramping up the intensity. So I think that game, we're probably going to take an L. Jokic is probably one of the better players that I've seen in the last 5 to 10 years, as far as just offensively, as far as his basketball IQ. He is an absolute alien. So I think that's going to be a loss. So I believe we're 2-4 right now. Then we come back home to play the Brooklyn Nets and Detroit Pistons. That should be 2 wins. Brooklyn Nets, they're also a team with no direction. They have no idea what's going on. And, of course, it's the Brooklyn Nets. Then the Detroit Pistons, again, even though the last time we played Detroit at the Garden, Dante DiVincenzo just threw himself, I believe it was to one of the Thompson twins, which I think should have been a foul called, but that's neither here nor there. But I think we're going to win both of those games, so it brings us back to 500. So we're 4-4. Now, the next 2 games at Toronto and at San Antonio Spurs, we're going to be going to Toronto. We're going to be playing the former Knicks, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley. Talent, Toronto Raptors, they do have a nice pool of talent, so I'm not sure. That could be a toss-up, but I think the deciding factor would be Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson will probably get us over the hump, so I think we'll be going 5-4 right there. And for the last game at the San Antonio Spurs, I don't know about you guys, but Victor Wembanyama is an absolute alien. This guy is 7'6". He's able to do the sham god dribble. He's able to just things that I've never seen, things that I never thought I would see a 7'6" player do in my lifetime. He's doing right before me. And as a rookie, I believe he's averaging, I don't know, maybe like 5 to 6 blocks, or maybe like 3, 4. I might be exaggerating it. But the rookie of the year, I get it. Chet is not really a rookie. Last year was his rookie year. He was able to travel with the team and get the experience, see what the NBA play is like. He has a whole year ahead of Victor Wembanyama. So that argument is valid. So I think Victor Wembanyama should get the rookie of the year. But it's still the San Antonio Spurs. Their record is horrible, so I still think we should get that win. So we should end with a record. Me personally, I think we'd be going 6-4, which is a nice little 10-game record, especially with our players out. Jalen Brunson hopefully doesn't get hurt again, even though that perennial nerve bump that he had against Cleveland last Sunday was a huge heart stopper. Thank God it was only something a little bit minor that Knicks fans didn't have to be worried about. But yeah, man, if we could keep our players healthy, and we keep our head above water. We get OG Anunoby back, which I think will be in the next week or week and a half. Julius Randle is ramping up. I believe it was reported that he ramped up to be doing pad work. It's not physical contact, or I could be getting that reversed. Maybe he ramped up to doing physical contact. I can't remember right now, freestyling right now. But Mitchell Robinson, who we're still going to wait until probably right before the playoffs, I just want us to keep our head above water, and the 10-game schedule that I just threw out to you guys, 6-4, I think that's a good record to end with. But what do you guys think? That's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments. First and foremost, let me know what you guys think about the Donovan Mitchell rumor starting again with the New York Knicks. And also leave it in comments. Let me know what you guys think about the next 10-game schedule that I just broke down for you guys. Do you guys believe it's a 6-4 record, or you guys think it might be worse, or you guys think it could be better? Let me know in the comments. But until next time, guys, you guys know the drill. You guys know the vibes. Taj Gibson for president, POTUS, of course, Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs, and we'll check you out in the next video. Peace.